Hi everyone, welcome to the Harmony Foundation podcast series, and I'm pleased today to be joined with Melissa Barbash with Recoverme Counseling out of Denver.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So good to have you here today. We're going to learn a little bit about you and a little bit about your practice today. So some of our questions might seem a little unorthodox. But I think you'll be able to handle them pretty well. So my first question is, so I noticed that you're a big animal lover. I saw on your website that you have a picture of your dog, and is it one cat or two cats?
Two cats.
Two cats.
Yes.
Yep. You highlight them on your website. They clearly are important to you. Why do your animals bring you so much joy?
I think it's very funny that you asked that, actually, because initially I put them there because I thought that you were supposed to put something there with your animals that would help people kind of know a little bit more about you.
Uh-huh.
But I was going back and forth. Should I put them? Should I not put them? So they're my cats that I brought into the relationship. So I've had them for 16 years. So why do my cats bring me so much joy? So they're like my children, and I don't have children. So I love that they're independent. So I love that about cats. I specifically got cats because they can do what they need to do. They love you when they need to love you. And they're very curious and fun-natured, but I just love their independence. That sounds bad, like that I got animals so that they'll stay away from me, but I did not do that. That's what I appreciate about animals, is that they have their own personalities, and they don't necessarily need all the time, but they love all the time at the same time.
So secretly, is that describing a little bit about your personality, do you think?
Yes, I thought that might be...
I think there's something to that. There are probably some people that are leaning more towards that. So, and I totally get it, because I have one too, and she's opinionated and independent, but comes to you only when she wants to come to you, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. So that's interesting.
It's just like they need their own space. They need their own time. They're individuals. Like, they're not the same. They're two different cats. And the dog is wonderful. The dog was brought in by my partner, so I've never owned a dog. So that was a little different for me because he's completely attached.
Yes.
And very needy. And very, his tongue is gigantic. He's a Rottweiler. So he's gigantic too. So he has no boundaries. So I have
There's so much that can be done in this conversation around like personalities. That's funny. A lot of metaphors going on right now.
I need some boundaries. But then he's just always so lovely. Like, you can really count on them for that. And he's also independent. Like, I didn't know that dogs slept as much as they do. I thought there was something wrong and he was depressed. But he's not. He's fine.
That's good. And they get along too, I'm sure.
The cats, he's afraid of the cats.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's why I like the cats better too. They put a little fear in the attached the dog. But I guess I highlighted them because I want people to know a little bit about me. I don't know if it'll resonate, but I'm a person, and I'm a person that has just a regular life, and
which helps when working with clients. They don't want to think about people being, well, she's got it all together, or she knows everything, and that makes a huge difference. Well, that's a great segue into talking about Recoverme Counseling. So it's private practice that focuses specifically on addressing addiction and codependency. So why did you decide to pursue this career in addiction treatment, and specifically around issues around codependency?
So this is a vulnerable issue for me because I don't usually talk about this too much. I talk about it a little bit, in educational moments with people, or in groups, or, in my practice. It's not mostly about me, but I give a little bit of information to people. But I actually think most people that got into this field have some sort of affiliation with addiction or somebody that's been involved with addiction. But for me, I was involved with a partner that was an alcoholic. So that's not why I got into counseling, though, but that's why I did the specialization, because I could just see so much pain in people and so much help that was needed. And then I never wanted to be a person that focused on what I had needed out of that experience, which was like the codependency and the my own personal therapy. But as it turns out, I really love working with that population because they're a forgotten population, I think. When someone comes to treatment, the partners are encouraged to seek their own help, but they're also used to doing everything on their own, so they don't often take that help. So I saw this population as people that really need someone to be there for them.
It's so important because I think you're right as far as the issue around codependency can often be a precursor to addiction continuing in many cases. And they have to be looked at.
And it's a lonely process, and when your partner starts getting better after treatment too, or starts in recovery, people don't really know how to deal with that, the spouses that are watching their partner kind of continue in recovery, because we think that that's what we wanted, like that our partner go to treatment and get better, but when that actually starts happening, it's a rough change. So I think that I help people to be prepared for that change that's coming, and how they can change alongside that person to help themselves and help their relationship too.
That's great. In the last 5 years, what have you become better at saying no to?
Let's see. That's a work in progress all the time. I've become a lot better at saying no to always having to be the person who does everything. I think that's, a lot of people are saying that now, like that women are, do it all, and it's a very kind of new niche, I guess, for people. And it's transcended time, like it's kind of just true all the time. But I've become better at just knowing that I don't have to be there all the time for everybody else. What else have I said no to? I've said no to, like specifically, like even with my own partner, taking on what they need to do for themselves. I've also become better at saying no to kind of a life that I thought that I should have, where it's like filled with all these things that I'm doing all the time and all these friends that I'm hanging out with all the time, and just really looking at who makes me feel whole and concentrating on those people. And I got out of the shoulds, like I should be helping everybody, or I want to be like, I want to look like this as a success. And I just started, I guess, maybe saying yes to myself instead of saying yes to everything else.
That's great. Thank you for that. That's a great response. I really like that.
Thank you.
So playing out the idea of the word harmony, what do you think it means to live a life in harmony?
So it's really funny. I thought about harmony yesterday. And I think maybe the response most people think of is balance. And so I think that's probably where most people go. But I used to play the violin, and then I looked up the exact definition of harmony, and it said simultaneously playing two notes. And I think of it as kind of two personalities sharing as one. Like, it's okay for you to be this way, and it's okay for you to be this way. It's just how do they coexist together? Like, what do you say yes to? What do you say no to? So I liked the idea of the two notes simultaneously, so it wasn't... I do like the word balance, but I just more so liked that how do I live in conjunction with my different sides and be okay with that.
Harmoniously.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. I've not heard that response before. That's great. And that's great that you play the violin.
Yeah.
Secretly, I've wanted to learn how to play the fiddle.
Oh.
I have. But I just think I would sound so terrible that I would hate the fiddle, so I decided I wasn't going to do it.
Well, I have a dream of sounding like the Dixie Chicks, but that's
that would be great.
Happen.
Yes, that would be so great. If someone wanted to access services at Recoverme Counseling, how could they get in touch with you?
So the best way is to email me, quite honestly, because if I'm in session and my phone goes off, I'll miss the call. I have a great app, though, that sends a text message back to ask if it's okay to call them back. So that actually works pretty well. So phone or email. So
what's the email address?
Yep, it's melissa@recovermecounseling.com.
Great.
And the phone number's on my website, which is just recovermecounseling.com also.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us here at Harmony, and we look forward to partnering with you more frequently.
So do I. Thank you so much. I can't say enough.